China, Japan, and Korea for Mahayana Buddhism, and Mongolia, Bhutan, Tibet for Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. Today, its official dialogue in all Southwest meeting in 2022 in the series weekly international meeting of Greenfield Dhamma English Club in School Buddhist Study, Vietnam. This week's pleasure the Dr. Gurmet director to its stages as Himalayan Cultute Study, the Hung Anuruddha Pradesh, India, has set the invitation of guest speakers to have a talk with all 200 members of the club in honor to hand of Tibetan Buddhism in Anuruddha Pradesh. Once again, thank you for joining us and welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dharma Brother Nhuận Giác. Next, I would like to announce the TNTC program today as follows. 1. Introducing guests and participants. 2. Opening speech and introducing the chief guest by Dharma Brother Nhuận Giác. 3. Main speech by our chief guest, Dr. Gurmet, Dr. Director, Central Institute of Himalayan Cultural Studies, India. 4. Question and answer session. 5. Vote of science by Dharma Sister Vatun. 6. Closing program by the traditional song of the club, I Have Right and Home. In this meaningful and instructive meeting today, it's really privileged and honorable for us to welcome 1. Dr. Gurmet Dorjey, Director, Central Institute of Himalayan Cultural Studies, Dahung Arunachal Brothers, India. 2. Venerable Dr. Thích Dong Đắc, Founder and President of Greenfield Dhamma English Club, Vietnam. 3. All Dharma brothers and sisters, or members of the club or Antians. Once again, we welcome you all to this great virtual meeting today. Now, may I request Dr. Gurmet Dorjey, Director, Central Institute of Himalayan Cultural Studies, Dahung Arunachal Brothers, India, to give the main speech on Tibetan Buddhism in Arunachal Brothers today. Over the mic to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sister. Okay. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Okay, very good afternoon from India, the northeastern part of Himalaya. That is Arunachal Pradesh. It's just boundary towards the one side we have the Bhutan border, and the other side we have the Myanmar border. On the third border we have the Tibet. So we have almost 3 borders connecting the whole Arunachal Pradesh. So we are much more nearer to the where I'm situated here in Arunachal Pradesh. We are very much nearer to the Bhutan border. So we have the Buddhism following of Tibetan system, but we can say in this region of the Himalayan region. So first of all, I would like to thank one of my favorite students, Dr. Thích Dong, who is the founder and the president of New Ginti Dhamma English Club. I'm very much happy and see him to flourishing the Dhamma in the whole of Vietnam and many parts of the world. This noble initiative, which he have started as after just finishing his doctoral degree. So I'm very much glad to see you, my dear student Dick Bante, who is doing such a noble job to give Dhamma. That the best gift of all the Dhamma is the Dhamma gift, what we says by the Buddha himself. So I think this is the most precious dana that he's doing, and most precious Dhamma practice what he's doing as a Mahayanist, as a follower of Buddha. That's what I like him very much. And then I wish him for almost future success of this institute, what he has been founding. And I'm very much happy to see all the Vietnamese Dhamma brothers and sisters who are working day and night, practicing on the path of towards enlightenment, towards the Buddha. So before I will speaking on the Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh, I will speak. Just give me 2 minutes. I have another. Sorry for the interruption. So I will be talking on two things. First of all, what our institute is all about. And the second thing is the theme which I'm talking on is the Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh. That I will talk of. So I would like to present a little PowerPoint presentation for the, what we call, wait a second. Where is my, one second. Where can I find my? Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir. Now.
This one?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So this is our institute, which is based in the Arunachal Pradesh, in a West Kemang district, just on the highway towards Tawang, towards the Tibet border. So, before it is one of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India's initiative to start this institute. In 2010, it was started. And then Ministry of Culture, Government of India has taken initiative to preserve the culture as well as the tradition of the Tibetan Buddhists following in Himalayan region, that is in India. So to protect and to preserve the culture and tradition of the Tibetan or Nalanda traditions, they have started almost 4 universities in all of India. 4 institutes, what we call so 3 of them already became the deemed to be university, and we are the most what we can say the infancy at the level, that is the one of the starting point of the institute. So we are the smallest one. So before that one we have in Ladakh, that is called Central Institute of Buddhist Studies in Leh Ladakh, and one we have in the Sarnath, that is the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, which is also deemed to be university, both. And then one is in Navanalanda Mahavira in Bihar. And then 4th one is Central Institute of Himalayan Culture. And the 5th one is coming up in Himachal Pradesh, that is in Tabo area of the Himachal Pradesh in Lahore Spiti area. The 5th institute is coming up, I think within 1 or 2 years, it will be started very soon. So this all started by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. So our was started in 2010 by the same objective. So what we do is that if I go with the PowerPoint, as I said, it is geographically, it is boundary with the China on the eastern side or the north side of the Arunachal Pradesh, and Bhutan on the west. And it is an autonomous body of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, located in the Arunachal Pradesh. And CHS has a unique, what we call the mandate, Buddhist mandate. Mandate means objective of the institute to undertake graduate, postgraduate, and doctoral program in Buddhist and Himalayan cultural studies. That is the main objective of our institute. And the institute was registered as a Society Act of the Government of India. And Right now, it is affiliated under the Sampurnan Sanskrit University, that is in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, which is very much famous and which is a very old university and popular university, which they give mostly on the Sanskrit medium of acharyas and degrees kind of things. So that we are affiliated with the same university, and we give our degree and diploma and certificate from this university. So it is this is the fourth university which I'm talking about, the Ministry of Culture, which has started. So 3 already are, which I told you. And then you see MSD constituting a special podium for stimulating higher learning in Buddhist and Himalayan culture studies, which will ultimately emphasize the inherent philosophy of non-violence, altruism, universal peace, fraternity with modern higher education. And CHS Dahung with its awarded motto and mission of Attame Deepo Bhava, that is to see himself, what it is, reality. That is the Buddha's aim also, Buddhist philosophical, based on the Buddhist philosophical, that to see the reality of ultimate reality, to see that self. So one became oneself as light of that kind of things. So this is the history of the Arunachal, our institute. Secondly, we have this, what we call the logo, where we can see the Manjushri and Dhammachakra, and then the scriptures of Buddha and the lotus, and our main aim and octo says Atma Deepo Bhava, means self-enlightening kind of thing, self-lighting of self. That's the thing. And it was registered, it was taken by Ministry of Culture in 2010, Ministry of Government of India. And as I said, it is affiliated with the Sampurnan Sanskrit University of Varanasi. And our functional is like, our institute is where the whole administrative structure is like this, it is based on a society which is registered under the Government of India Act, and then we have a BOG member and a lot of other committees to function its institutes. So these are just a glimpse of the institutes, what we can say. So these are the main themes of the philosophical, what we stress upon giving the teachings to the students over here. In the undergraduate course, and as well as the postgraduate, as well as below that also, we have we see in the Indian education system from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th class, and then on the BA or the bachelor degree, and then the postgraduate degree, and then the doctorate degree. So we have all the course from starting from the 9th onwards, from the secondary schooling itself. That's all we give in the Tibetan medium of instructions, as well as English and Hindi. So these are the 3 mediums what we give. Most of the philosophical teachings what we give in Tibetan medium, and 1 or 2 subjects like English, Hindi, Sanskrit, these are all given by the different languages of the language offered by the students. So the main objective of the institutes are to provide the instruction for various courses in Indian culture, for study, research in different branches of this philosophical cultural studies, to prepare students for higher learning, research in the field of Buddhist studies, body language, literature, Himalayan studies, with pedagogy method using knowledge of modern research method and advanced up-to-date technology, to inculcate awareness of cultural ethos, ecological balance, preservation of natural resources with special reference to Himalayan region and Northeast region of India, to teach traditional arts, craft, and modern technical skills set up for facilitating economic, self-sufficient, sustainable, and preservation of ethnic identity within the framework of national unity. And the Institute awards fellowship, scholarship, prize, medal, accordance with our rules and regulations of the institutes, to confer honorary degree and distinctions like that, and to establish a lot of what we call the maintain building complex, manage hostels, that kind of things. And we do have some kind of feeder schools also. Some Buddhist schools are there, which are run by Tibetan monastic institute, like monasteries, different kind of monasteries. They run different schools of monasteries. So we give them financial support as well as some scholarship to the students. Like each students in each schools, we give almost like 25 scholarships, a minimal of almost like in Indian rupees, we can say like 1,200 rupees per student for per month, like that kind of things to each students in monastic educations. So we have almost like 6 feeder schools also. We looking after them, and we appoint a teacher in Tibetan and Tibetan philosophy as well as Tibetan Buddhist language also, to teach them about the advanced course of that. That was the aim and objective, keeping the cultural and identity to preserve in the whole of Arunachal Pradesh. So we have adopted almost like 6 institutes running under us. And then we have different administrative posts, like kind of things. And what we run like classes right now, what we have in our own institutes, we can see that that is the we say Purva Madhyamika, that is the 9th standard. It is in Sanskrit medium, what we can say the nomenclature of the degrees are in Sanskrit medium. So we call PM1. PM1 is Purva Madhyamika first year, that is the 9th student. This is the ratio what we have right now. And then we have the Purva Madhyamika second year, that is the 10th standard, we can say, the metric we can say. And then the Uttar Madhyamika is the 11th standard. And then Uttar Madhyamika second is, that is the 12th standard. And then Shastri is the bachelor degree. Shastri first year, second year, third year, that is the bachelor degree of first, second, third year. And then we have Acharya students, that is the master degree. And then the Acharya, the final year students. That is what we have right now. And then these are some of the grants which is just a personal kind of thing. So these are the last 5 years what we have conducted, and how many degrees we have conferred, and what kind of others activity what we have done. That is the just kind of a report kind of things, degree and certificate, and holding of national seminar like 2 lecture series kind of things, and conducting educational program. Like we have conducted even some kind of what we call the different Buddha Mahotsav by the festival name by Ministry of Culture also. We have even participated in Vietnam, Malaysia, and some other Indonesian part of the goal overseas also, taking Buddhist, showing the Buddhist culture or Tibetan aspect of Buddhism as a showcase to attract Buddhist culture, Buddha Mahotsav by name. So through the Ministry of Culture, we have participated in that kind of things. And then going beyond that, these are just, I think Duke must be very well aware of this, since 2 seminars what we held in last COVID period. That is 1 national seminar and 1 international seminar, which we had through the virtual mode of kind of things. So this is what our institute is all about. So this is all about the institute, what we are right now doing and what we have to offer for that. So in near future, still our infrastructure is still lacking in many aspects. So we are trying to develop a huge campus just nearer to our campus. So in that, we are thinking about having more than 3,000 students and almost more than 300 teachers, accommodating them all and giving them about the all different aspects of the Buddhist teachings and Buddhist philosophy, as well as preserving on the different aspects of the Himalayan culture also. So that is all about this what we call the institute itself. Now, if I come to the what we call the, I have a small article on the Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh. So should I share the PowerPoint or read it, or just speak like that way?
Okay, I think you should share through PowerPoint, sir. So for us, easy to
just word.
Yes, no problem, sir.
No problem.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they can read it. Yes.
Can you see that?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it just in PowerPoint kind of thing? So going to the Monpa means here the tribes. So like same like what I feel, which I've seen in the Vietnam also, there are many kind of tribes also. So in Arunachal Pradesh also, we have more than almost 300 tribes. 300 tribes are there in the whole of Arunachal Pradesh. From one part to the other part of Arunachal Pradesh, if we go, every 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers, there is a change in the culture, food culture, as well as living and their way of wearing the different cultural dress, and as well as eating and many other aspects. Geographically, I think almost same. It's a similar kind of Vietnamese geographical conditions with greenery, mountains, whole of mountains, but whole of jungles and greenery kind of things. And then they have a lot of bamboo products also over here. So in many aspects, I can sing that very much similar to some parts of the Vietnam also, what I can find out. Because last 8 years while teaching in Gautam Buddha University, what I can see through the different students, what they were practicing through different culture of Vietnam, almost similar kind of things. Like they used to prepare this within the banana leaf, some kind of rice cake. That same kind of rice cake, which I can see here in the Arunachal Pradesh also. So same kind of things are there. So I'm just quoting some of the, I will just go through this article. So at the top northeastern region, that is the northeast part of the topmost, that's why the Arunachal Pradesh, you know, the name Arun means the sun, okay. Chal means the shadow. Arun means sun, Chal means shadow. The first shadow of the sun falls on the Arunachal Pradesh. That's why in India, the first sunrise falls on the Arunachal. That's why the name itself is Arunachal. So that is the Pradesh means the state. Okay. So that is the name, epistemology meaning of the Arunachal Pradesh. So on the top of northeast of India lies the Arunachal Pradesh, located in the, if you see the latitude and longitude, it is around 39030 north latitude and 91030 east longitude, with an area of almost more than 83,000 square kilometers, and it is the largest state among the northeast India of India. Arunachal Pradesh is surrounded by Myanmar in the east, Bhutan in the west, China on the north, and the state of Assam in the south. The population density is around 17% per square kilometer. If you divide the whole population like that, 17% per square kilometer. It is the thinnest population density in the country. There are 26 major tribes and more than 100 sub-tribes in the state, which each tribe has its own belief system and has a rich cultural heritage ranging from dresses, dance, festival, foods. Beside a rich cultural canvas, this tribal state offers religious places like more than 400-year-old Golden Namgyal Lagse. That is the one of the famous Tawang monastery, and it's also called as the second largest Buddhist monastery or Tibetan Buddhist monastery in all of Asia. And then what we have, one of the Hindu, the most ancient one, that is the Parshuram Kund, that is on the other part of the Arunachal Pradesh. What we have, the state finds mention in the literature of Kalika, Purana, Mahabharata. Places like Malinthin and Itanagar have important archaeological values. Arunachal Pradesh is a beautiful lakes like Gyagar Singhe or the Ganga Lake, Lake Paradise, Sela Lake, that is on the top of the Sela what we have. Lake Sange, Sar, Madhuri Lake in Sanskrit we can say. The state is rich in spices of most of flora fauna because of the, as I said, it is a whole of greenery and jungle. So we have lot of species, different kind of flora fauna and wildlife, even birds, and then national park, reserve parks, almost this kind of scape. This is just the glimpse of the Arunachal Pradesh, what state it is, first of all. And then there are, as I said, there are 26 major tribes and more than 100 tribes, its own tradition. And a group of population such as the Monpas and the Shedupar in the West Kemang and Tawang district follows the sect of the Mahayana Buddhism. That is the Tibetanization kind of what we see in the Tibetan Buddhism following culture. Similar kind of Buddhist culture prevail in these two sections of the part of the Himalayan region, that is towards the border of the most of the Bhutan region. So what we have is this Monpa and Shedupan. These are the two tribes, we can say two tribes, and they follow similar kind of Buddhist culture, Tibetan Buddhism, but they are different two tribes, and they does not have the same language, but they speak by the Shedupan and the Monpas. Within the Monpa also, there are certain different dialects within one village to the other regions. They follow the same religion, but they does not have this common language kind of thing. Okay, that is the thing what I have witnessed in here. And then their worship center is known as Gompa Monastery, what we call this Buddhist monastery, and Mempas and Khamba.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
Should we continue?
Yes, please proceed, sir. Continue, sir.
On the other hand, like Khamtis and Shinfus follow the Hinayana sect of Buddhism, which we see the Hinayana or the Theravada tradition towards the border of the Myanmar or the on the other side of the Arunachal Pradesh. We have lot of pagodas and lot of Theravada tradition Buddhist following kind of things. And within them, there are two tribes, which is very much popular, that are Khamtis and Shinfus. Okay. The group consists of tribes like these Gaus, Apatanis, Nishis, Mishis, etc. are worshippers of sun and the moon, and namely Donipalo. So these are the nature worshippers, what I see here. Most of being in, you can imagine that some parts of the Vietnam also still have a lot of jungles. So in these jungles, what they do is they all have their own traditions of belief system. They follow their own kind of things. So it has still not been modernized, or they have been not assimilated into another religion kind of things. They have been not converted, or they have been not enlightened by the other religions. That's why still it is intact. So similarly, this being the furthermost northern region part of India, so having some part of the jungle, and it has been situated in the middle of the jungle kind of thing. So a lot of tribes are still believe in the nature worship. Nature worship. There is no existence of god or idol or anything. So they believe in the sun, moon, and other the river, trees, these things. So they called these kind of things, and they believe in one common ancestor known as Apotani. The third group comprised of Notiks, Wangchu, Tangses, etc. tribes of tribe Loding, Changlang district, the elementary form of the Vaishnavism in the practice of Noctics. So some of these tribes, which are very much nearer towards Assam or towards the Hindu following state, so they have some kind of Vaishnavism, also following the Brahmanical traditions also. So some parts of these tribes, they follow this. And the people of Arunachal, they celebrate a number of festivals, agriculture, and which provide their relative and what they. So the Monpa belongs to the Tibeto-Mongoloid race, racial stock, for the behavior. The scholar says people are singular, courteous, gentle, and friendly. They take off their heads, holding them between their hands, and make a little bow at every they speak. According to 2001 census, the population of Monpa is very much, I think, almost like 38,292 persons, out of which 2,184 are male and 1 are only female. 70,000 are female. So such a small group of Monpa Tibetans following Buddhist followers, one kind of tribes are there. So the name Monpa has originally coined by the Tibetan to address the inhabitants of the region south of Tibet. In the Tibetan dialect, the word Monpa signifies the man of the lower country, because at the time in the, even it is said the fifth Dalai Lama was born in Tawang, or this part of the state itself. So it used to be in a time, in the historical time, it used to be one part of the Tibet region. So it used to be the southernmost remote part of that. That's why it used to be said as Monpa. In the lower, we can say the region is the most lower part of the country, and means that living in the East Himalayan region in the recent survey, all the dialects of the Arunachal Pradesh expect that the Khamti tribes of Myanmar has been classified under the North or the Assam group of languages. This is the language what we talked about. It is the Indo-Bharat languages what they have. Yes, the dialect spoken by Monpa also came under the broad group of Tibeto-Burma bridge. There are, however, some linguistic variation among different groups of Monpa. As I said before, that one village to other village dialect is within Monpa itself. It doesn't have a common language within the Monpa. So the Monpas are one of the major tribes of the Arunachal Pradesh who are Mahayana Buddhist form of Nyingmapa Red Hat Order, and they adore Guru Padma Sambhava. In the past, they reserved Tibetan influence, but now monogamy is being replaced this system of matrimony. They used to follow the Nyingmapa sect. Right now, in Tawang Monastery and Bomdila and few more monasteries have came up with the Gelugpa sect. So there are two major sects prevailing in the whole of Arunachal. What I see is the Gelugpa sect and the Nyingmapa sect of Tibetan Buddhism following. And they, unlike the what I'm from, being from the Leh Ladakh, what I see is the
Yes, sir. Hello.
hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I
Did you see
listen.
that? Sorry.
Yeah, I listen.
Yeah.
Don't clear. Don't clear.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you are audible now, sir.
My
Yeah, due
sharing
to
screen has
the internet connection. Yes.
So should I share again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. It's being in the remote part than relay. So now coming back, as I said, what I've seen is there are two prevailing whole that's have here, and is the one of the scholars Chaudhary stated that the Monpas are similarly simple and well mannered, and guardians follow a simple code of life enjoyed by their religion. This religion practiced by them is school, and then another is the observe more is the general for and hunting equivalent constantly extreme boundaries was known to the ancient Aryan, making mention of Kiridai used to make bring mask from the
I think due to his weak internet connection, he will come back because he is in a high mountain. Now, hello, sir. You come back. Yes, I started screen sharing again.
Okay.
Yes, okay, sir.
So the Monpa native of Kramti, which includes Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, but particularly hill tracts Osai, Sestaiwa, the principal inhabitants of Tawang district is Monpa. According to Durha, the Monpa is divided into three groups. That is Dirang, Central Tawang, or the Northern, and the Kalaktang, or the Southern. So these are the four mostly the geographical regions where these Monpa mostly live. That is Dirang, Central Tawang, and then Kalaktang, that's the region. Okay. Considering the geographical location of their concentration, and the Tawang Monpa solely occupy the Tawang district, while the Dirang and Kalaktang Monpa independent the West Khemang district. Apart from the geographical division of Monpa, namely Dirang, Central Tawang, or Northern, or the Kalaktang Southern, they might be divided into two groups, namely Changla and Bharmi, according to their most ancient tradition and subculture. The Dirang and Kalaktang Monpas are the Tawang Monpas is Bharmi. They are different names which by given by different scholars, and they are known as different by names. Even sometimes called there as Changla and then the Bharmi, known as not known as Monpas. So just to classify two kinds of tribes. So however, their tradition culture are widely influenced by the new religion accepted by them. And then the now history of Tawang. Okay, Tawang is very much popular here in the whole of Arunachal Pradesh, and most of the tourists do come to visit the Tawang because it's very much popular for the biggest monastery in the northeastern part of India, as well as the second largest part of or in Asia, I think Tibetan. So the history of Tawang is very much linked with the Tawang monastery. In modern history can be traced back to the 60s of these centuries when there appear a political turmoil in the form of foreign aggression that the country faced. In other words, it says the infamous Chinese assault in 1962, which eventually brought Tawang into the world political limelight. And there are few sites and means of the historical importance of this district. The Tawang monastery date back to the 17th century AD, which preserves an old scripture, records of antiquarian value. This monastery is the biggest in India and oldest in Asia. The Monpas at present not in position to offer any explanations of their migration to the present areas. They have been living in this hill trend since the time immemorial. On the path of progress and development under the influence of great Indian culture, however, Durha stated that following the persecutions by the Chinese, the adventurous sections of the people from Bhutan and Mongol in neighborhood of Tawang immigrated about 200 years ago. These were they called the different names, Mongpas, Drukpas, like that. Chakravarti noted that Tawang Monpa migrated to be from the of Monpas or tribe called by Loba, umbically lived in Dirang Valley. Eventually, a serious dispute arose between them, and Lopas were forced out, and Monpas then built a zong or the fort at Dirang, and it means defense. And regarding the migrations of Kalaktang Monpa, Kennedy stated this group showed the affinity with racial group to their west and across the northern border. Some of the elder people as they heard from their forefather migrated from eastern Bhutan. All these groups are united by the bonds of Buddhist religion since the establishment of Tawang Monastery, sometimes in the 17th century AD. So what I can say is here that the most, as I said, that the boundary towards Tibet and the Bhutan, we have both on the side of the Tibetan Buddhist following people. So some of them might be migration from the Bhutanese region, as we have the Dirang Zong. Dirang Zong means it is a kind of an fort kind of thing, a castle or a palace where they used to protect from the enemies or the rajas kind of kings from that kind of invaders. So that's why they have a zong. And then the Bhutan has many zongs. So it might be from the zong point of view that what I can see is it came from the Bhutanese part. From the Bhutanese part, they have migrated from Bhutan and they settled down in Dirang, and later on it was scattered almost here and there also. And then the Tawang being the is part of the lowest, it used to be the part of the Tibetan region also in some ancient or the historical part of that. That's why there might be a migration from the Tibetan region also. And then the Kalaktang it is still bordered to the Bhutan, so it might from the border Bhutan side also. So most of them, I think the followers migrated from different parts of the region and they settled over here from many And the Tawang monastery came in the 17th century, built by the Mira Lama, who came from Tibet itself and who kept gazing the what kind of horse, and they saw some kind of an auspicious place where the Tawang monastery is situated right now, well, by the horse from the Tibet side, and then he was gazing, and then he saw some kind of an auspicious sign at that, and he meditated there and he stayed there, and later on it came up as a monastery, huge like kind of things. So this was the history of the Tawang monastery. And then what we see, the art crafts in the region of the Arunachal or the Tibetan Buddhist following of the Arunachal Pradesh, the Monpa prepare themselves most of their household goods, decoration items of readily available raw material like carpet making, mass, we can say the mass, different mass of the also different monasteries also do a lot of monastic dance also, different kind of things. So because there is a lot of wood available in this jungle or the kind of things, so through the wood they do a lot of mask also, making of mask, wooden carving, and then images, wood carving, some of the distinguishing feature of their craft. And they are also expert in knitting, weaving, dyeing, paper making, painting, printing, cane work, and bamboo works. Elvin in a philosophical Nafa observed that the chief art of the Nafa is weaving, and it's on the handloom that greatest progress has been achieved. And Monpa generally use small and simple portable looms. Girls in the house learn in art of weaving through socialization. They learn this art as they grow. Monpa women were very weave principally in the wool, and they shear their sheep 3 times a year and do the washing and combing as well as spinning and weaving of the yarn themselves. Systematic difference on different crafts imparted in the government craft center of district, besides village pick up traditional art from the society through socials. So what we see is the similar kind of woolen clothes, what the Monpa traditional they wear. It is fully made out of wool itself. It is made out of goat and sheep's wool. So in the right now, I think in the modern or the nowadays, the younger generation, what I see in my institute also, so only few people on some occasion only they wear the traditional dress. Otherwise, the old tradition dress were all of woolen clothes. What we see, still some old generations do wear in the villages. So they all are in the woolen form. So there used to be a woolen lot of self-sustaining kind of things. Nowadays, due to the modern export and import kind of things, lot of modern dress are being wear out by the young generation. So the old tradition kind of craft has been little bit at the edge of extinction. So men are good at carving and women are expert in the looms, especially in the carpet making. Their artistic skill wood work is noticed in carving of bowls, cup, dish, candle stand, flower vase, etc., which are often painted with traditional design. Wood carpet, woolen shawls of Monpas are great demand for their elegant soft structure, live design, artistic beauty, making of statues of Buddha or other religious figures, symbols, writing, painting of prayer flags, thankas, some of them items favorite to wooden carving, painters, spinning, woolen, garment making done by the women. Through the blacksmith and silversmith, not institutional among them, some male numbers possess their skills. The handmade material are mostly prepared out of cane, bamboo, wood. They collect free of cost from their respective village forests before use. Cane and bamboo strips are visually seasoned by keeping them on tray above the hearth. So what we can see is that the most of the art and craft what we visually see in the market also is made out of from the wood itself. Now the other like some carpet weaving are still preserved in some of the villages, but most of the what we see the art and craft visible nowadays in the modern days is through the bamboo, and the wooden crafts are very much visible right now also. And then now see one of the interesting thing to see here in the which I have not seen almost in whole of Ladakh and some part of Tibet it used to be, but in here in Arunachal there's a specific ritual for the death which I have seen witnessed here in Monpa or the Arunachal part of only. A good number of rites are associated with death in the Monpa city. A death of a person, Lama is invited who, after calculating the holy book, determines the day, nature of disposal of the corpse. Regarding disposal of dead bodies, Kennedy noted they burn the corpse for the rich. Those of the poor people they bury in the winter, throw into the river in rainy season. The dead body of the common man is taken out for the nearest river, cut into 108 pieces, then thrown to the river one after another. Against each throwing, the Monpa believes that the throwing of the piece of the corpse physically emancipation of the soul from the material body of the deceased. If a person dies of any contagious disease or in an accident, then his dead body is buried. The body of the Lama is invariably cremated. A number of rituals is performed for ensuring good rebirth of the soul of the deceased. However, the prevailing tendency turns around more and more to bury the corpse. So this is the one of the unusual things which I have not seen in many parts of the Himalayan regions, or I don't know, there are many customs in many parts of the world. So here what I see is the chopping of the dead body into 108 pieces and then throwing it in the river to eaten by the fishes. Mostly in the river there are fish, so they donate or they give dhana, we can say the corpse dhana. The Lama believes, and one of the monks recites the by throwing, they believe that the emancipation from their body to the against rebirth. So that kind of belief system they have, and which I think some part of the Tibet, they give 108 pieces of body to the vulture, to the bird also. But to the fish, we can see only here in Arunachal Pradesh, which I have witnessed. But most of the part of the Himalayan region, they bury or as they burn. So in Vietnam part also, what I can see is bury or some they burn. So here only monks are buried, but rest, most of them, what I can see is they mostly cut into pieces and then throw into the river or the fishes. That's the thing. And then the Monpas or the Mahayana Buddhists by region with close cultural and religious affinity with Bhutanese and Tibetan. Before the coming of Buddhism, Monpa worship various personification forces of nature, prohibited with sacrifice. Their religion was very much akin to the Bonpa or the pre-Buddhist tribe of the pre-Buddhist Tibet, what used to be the Monpa or the Bon religion. Okay, according to the legend, Buddhism was brought to Monpa settled area of Arunachal by great Saint Padmasambhava, locally known as the Rinpoche, Lobon, however. In addition to the Buddhist ritual observed in the communities, Monpa still worship local deities individually or small group. They worship the pristine priests and propagate them by invoking local rites through the non-Buddhist local priests. Out of these three sects of Nyingma, Kagyu, and Gelug of Mahayana Buddhism, division of Buddhism, the first two sects are quite established among the Monpa since the 12th century. The Gelugpa, the last sect of the interdisciplino of the Monpa religious with establishment of Tawang monastery. Gradually, the many monasteries and two nunneries were built at Tawang. The inmates of the nunnery, which is known as Palmo, Onzung, or Anegompa, we say nunnery, that is the nuns monastery, depend totally on the charity of the laity for their upkeep, and their nunnery is 9 kilometers of the north of the Tawang monastery. The other nunnery known as Gyanggong Anegompa is situated at a distance of 5 kilometers over the north of the Tawang monastery. The inmates of these nunneries are scheduled to draw a fixed monthly allowance of their food, grain, or cash from the Tawang monastery. The people of Siru village have their local deity called Kela, a female deity who they believe a custodian of their village. Besides local priests, the Monpa have also Buddhist priests. That is, the Drakpa is the first rank of the monkhood. By virtue of learning, the Drakpa may be promoted to Gelong, and second of the Rongbongut. If Drakpa marries, then he may be trekked to the Zospa, and Zospa is not allowed to reside in the monastery, and Drakpa and Gelong do not marry. They reside in the monastery. The highest rank of monk is known as Rinpoche, and the status that can be attained only through the incarnation. That is, the adultery is common features of the Monpa religion. It is observed that the Monpa regularly pray with hymns to Lord Buddha several times a day. They arrange an altar in the house for performing the daily worship. They will do families like wooden shelf to keep it is in separate room for house, offering water in the metal bowl, lighting lamps are integral daily rituals. The water is changed every day by the member of the family. The people in the leisure hours pronounce Om Mane Padme Hum in the name of Lord Buddha through the rosary. And the people believe in transgression of soul and reincarnation, as they believe that the only whole soul takes rebirth to achieve the goal. The people try to rigidly to observe these rites properly and strictly follow the Buddhist person's permission and prohibition. Most of the villages have a Buddhist temple called Gompa. A Gompa is Buddhist temple to house the image of Lord Buddha and the religious books. One or more lamas are attached to the Gompa in vicinity of Gompa. Several prayer flags are fixed to that form, quite a distance. A traveler can catch sight of them, feeling spiritually lifted. Besides, some cylindrical wooden blocks known as prayer wheels are vertically attached at side by of the shrine with mechanism that helps the devotee to rotate the wheel. Some convenient strings are harnessed to turn huge prayer wheel with the mystic formula Om Mane Padme written all over them. All the entrance of the towns or the village or Monpa construct a gate, Kakaling. The roof of the Kakalings are finely painted by local artists with scenes from the life of Buddha. So these are some of the daily rituals or the followers of the Buddhists, what they do daily. And then, as I said, it used to be still in some villages, still truly not fully reformed into Buddhist practice also. There are still existence of what we can see, the born religions or the ancient tribal religion, or they can say their own way of worshipping the nature and belief systems in the nature system itself. There exists a creator, there exists a god on the god or a protector on the tree or the river or the streams or upon that hill or that hill. So they believe in such kind of things to make them pleased, to note them, to have cards upon us in the form of disease or some kind of uneventuality in the family, loss of wealth, property, that kind of things, to preserve themselves from that kind of things. And then they believe in the giving them with lot of what we call mantra as well as sacrifices also in the form of goat, sheep, cow, buffaloes. There's a species called Methun in this Arunachal Pradesh, which is called as similarly looks like an ox, but it is not yak or anything, but it is an ox or a cow kind of thing, smell. So they give lot of sacrifice of that species over here. So still recently I came to know from a monastery here nearby, monastery, big monastery is there, which is Bomdila Monastery. From there about he said that nearby there is a village where still bond practice is still going on, and sometimes even there is a huge disease in a family, then they call the priest, local priest, who through the prophecy, through the mantra and hands, then sometimes they say to sacrifice one of the human being also. So similarly, some child or some human beings are also being sacrificed in some of the villages, which we still heard of. So many parts of the Arunachal Pradesh are still not the pure form of Buddhism is practicing, but still trying to. And then many of the villages, as the population whole of Arunachal Pradesh, only 13% follow the Buddhism in our whole Arunachal Pradesh. Most of them follow the Christian. So a lot of Christianities are over here also. So many Christian missionaries has come over the villages to convert them into Christians kind of things. So where I'm staying here nearby, there are certain villages also which has been fully converted into Christians. Before they used to practice some sort of Buddhist as well as Christian, both kind of things. So still a lot of the Buddhist monastery over here, and then government and some Buddhist organization trying to struggle to give them the real what we call realize that what Buddhism teaches and what real Buddhism believes in, that kind of things. It is still in progress. So many of these tribes are still not purely form of Buddhism following kind of things. Still the old traditions is still practicing. So what annual festivals and lot of other festivals are practiced in the all of the regions, and then the lot of people do come to witness this kind of festivals, which signifies a great it gives a lot of inspiration to the Buddhist people among these followers over here in the whole of Arunachal Pradesh. So they, with great enthusiastic from many parts, many far villages, they used to come to this Dorjey or many of the other festivals, which is very much famous in the whole part of the Tibetan Buddhist following part of the Arunachal Pradesh. One is Dorjey. Dorjey means it is performed annually. It is in conquering over the evil spirit and then getting into a wholesome or the good and auspicious year ahead kind of things. So they do Dorjey. Dorjey means in the monastery, we have the Tawang Monastery Dorjey also, we have Bomdila Monastery Dorjey. So different monasteries and different rinpoches, they do Dorjey festivals. So at that time, the monastic monks comes and do monastic dance, monastic monk dance also, as well as the altar, and then the different kind of through the what we call dough, they prepare many kind of torma, we call this. So through that they signifies the different animal or different deities which are evil spirits. So they try to subdue that such kind of evil spirit and bring a good auspicious kind of thing into the village or monasteries or to all the people. That's what the Dorjey is for. And then we have Jipe Sakadawa. This is the this is what we call the Vesak Day. You know, we all celebrate there as Vesak Day in United Nations. So the most of the countries, even in Vietnam, they also celebrate as Vesak Day. So this is Jipa means the fourth full moon day. That is the Vesak Day kind of things. So it is celebrated in the month of the April in here as per the lunar calendar. So most of the people and the monasteries and everyone go to the monastery for praying to get their blessings and chapels kind of things. So they celebrate this Jipitsama very much enthusiastically over here. And then Tukpa issue is there. Tukpa means the 6th month, and this issue is the 10th day of the 6th calendar of the lunar calendar. And then in that they see the Four Noble Truths of the Lord Buddha, the first sermon of the Lord Buddha, what they celebrate. And then we have the Gubu Lababtushan, that is the Buddha's miracle day. You know, in the month of September, there comes as per the lunar calendar. So we, in our institute also, we do have a gazetted holiday of the institution close, because people do celebrate that in a very high manner over here. And even some of the monks and nuns in our institutes, they do a lot of puja and prayer on that day. So we keep this as a holiday as academically close on, but the hostel and all the students and monks do come, and then they do a lot of prayers and chantings for the Buddha, because the miracle day where the Buddha has given the teachings to his mother in the Dusitasa heaven, and then coming back to the Buddha, that is being celebrated as Labab Tuchen. And then we have Galdan Namcho, that is the Gilupa, that is the founder of the Gilupa, Tsongkhapa's his Parinibbana day. His Parinibbana, it is being offered as the light of offering. So it started in Tibet, and it has been now flourished almost all throughout the Himalayan region, where everybody celebrates the festival of light, like Diwali in whole of India. But on the Tsongkhapa, it is the death or the Parinibbana day of the Tsongkhapa, one who founded the Galdan monastery or the Gilupa sect, we can say. His Parinibbana is celebrated as that. So it has been influenced in here also. So on that day, everybody in the evening always offer all their homes and family homes, and everywhere is being lighting up. And then there are many other dance and games are being played annually, monthly, everywhere in the parts of this region of the Monpa. And then sometimes these even yak and deer dance are also being performed in the monastic as well as in the local village festivals also, which is not known in many parts. Others dance are very well known like that. So as common games which they play and which was popular in these parts are wrestling, like shooting, archery, and tug of war, etc. These are some of the traditional dances, traditionally what they do. Mostly the archery is very much famous here. And then other part of the Arunachal Pradesh where I have not been yet, or towards the Burmese boundary side. So we do have some of the institutes very well known with the Mahabodhi, which I'm a part of that organization too. But as far as I know, there are certain numbers of Theravada practicing population all over the other part of the Arunachal Pradesh, that is the Changlang district, what we very much famous known in the Arunachal Pradesh, one of the district called as Changlang. So there we have a golden replica of the Burmese golden pagoda also, and golden temple also. So a lot of other Theravadic monasteries are prevailing over on the other side of part of that. But as I prepared this paper, because I have witnessed this West Kemang, Tawang, Dirang, and Kalaktang, where the Tibetan Buddhism form is there, where my institute is also dedicated towards the flourishing of this monastery, this Tibetanization culture. So I have prepared on that kind of part of things. So lastly, I thank everyone for giving me this chance to share this knowledge with you all. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gurmet Dorjey, for enlightening us a wonderful topic today, Tibetan Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh. We have got lots of knowledge and useful information that we have given our club members. Through your presentation, I believe that all participants and members here have understood clearly and fully about prominent features of Tibetan Buddhism in Arunachal Pradesh. Once again, thank you so much for your excellent presentation and discussion, Dr. Gurmet Dorjey. Now it's time for us to come to a question and answer session. Anyone who wants to ask our chief guest, kindly open your mind and feel free to ask. Don't hesitate, please. All questions are warmly welcome in this session, please.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I would like to ask the question for my students in our club in related to study of Sanskrit in your institute, because the medium language institute. So after the finishing study here, so can we apply the application form to study Sanskrit or any program in relation to the Sanskrit in your institute, sir?
We do. We have the language of Sanskrit from the UM to the Shastri level till the bachelor degree. From the ninth class onwards, in every class we have the Sanskrit as one of the paper as compulsory. But after going out, I haven't seen anyone who is pursuing further studies in the Sanskrit. It might be you can get higher studies in Sanskrit also. There is no doubt in that we can apply for a higher studies in Sanskrit, because having the paper itself gives, because the basic we do have give.
So if we want to study only Sanskrit, maybe do you have any certificate or diploma for 1 or 2 years?
No,
we just come there and
yes, just a paper. Otherwise, most of the courses are conducted in Tibetanization. Tibetan. We have a lot of geshes, Tibetan monks. We have well qualified from the big monasteries, which they give geshe larampa degrees. So we do have almost more than 10 geshes over here. Who have as a teacher who teaches them, and
yes.
Many students are monks and nuns also. Many of them are from monks and nuns also. Yeah.
So our students who want to study Tibetan language, so please come to his institute to study. Very good place.
Sir, most welcome.
Just focus on Tibetan language only. Now, welcome to none of the questions.
Yes, sir. I have question. Mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. What does it mean? Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
There are 2-3 versions of Om Mani Padme Hum meaning. Many Rinpoches or many people do have different kind of expressions, the meaning. So what I know is Sogyal Rinpoche's reference is that we say Om Mani Padme Hum is the mantra of the Avalokiteshvara, the compassionate bodhisattva, which we called in Chinese as Kung Yin, no? I think Kung Yin or something.
Yeah.
The compassionate bodhisattva. So there is a, if I tell you there is a small oral or a myth story, what we can say. You can see in Tibetan Buddhism, we have 4 arms Avalokiteshvara, the white one, and then there are 1,000 arms and 11 heads. 11 heads with 1,000 arms, and each arm have a eye on it. So that is the 11 head or 1,000 arms Avalokiteshvara, what we called it. So it is said that the story of the myth that while the 4 arms Avalokiteshvara being a bodhisattva, being the bodhisattva vow or the bodhicitta having that, he dedicated his whole life and he took a vow or a promise that I will be relieving all the sentient being who has been suffering in the hell realm of hell, where all the sentient beings are there. So to take out all the sentient beings from the hell, if I am not, my promise is being not fulfilled, then may my body be scattered into 1,000 pieces, or may my body become into 1,000 pieces. That was his promise and his wish. So at last, while he was being a bodhisattva, he tried for almost many years to, going to the hell, and then one by one taking out each person's out of the hell, and then bringing him into a noble, showing him the Buddha's way of life. But at lastly, a time came when for many centuries he'd been practicing, and then a time came where he thought that every time he see another millions of them are there, another millions of them are in the hell again and again. Whenever he tries to finish, now I finished, no, again thousands are there, again thousands are there, millions of humans are coming. Then he thought that his promise was broke, and then his body became into 1,000 pieces. By seeing his unconditional compassion towards the sentient beings to upliftment from the hell, all the other bodhisattvas and Buddhas around the realm, they seeing his well-wish and well aware of that, then they rebuilt him with much more power and much more what we call spiritual enhancement or supernatural power, what we can say as per the bodhisattvas. So they rebuilt with the 1,000 arms and 11 11 heads, so that he can take he can help with the 1,000 arms with one wisdom eye on the each hand. That means each hand is represented as one of his rebirth. So each head and each 11 kind of things. So that while rebuilding that Om Mani Padme Hum mantra was chanted, it was a story myth kind of thing, that while every Buddhas rebuilt him with the 1,000 arms and 11, at that time this mantra was started with Om Mani Padme Hum. So that was at that time that now as Tibetan believes that one of the reincarnations of the Bodhisattva compassion is His Holiness Dalai Lama. So we called it Chandrazik also, to His Holiness Dalai Lama. All the Tibetan believe say the compassionate one. Everyone says no compassion of embodiment of compassion as Dalai Lama. So he's considered as one of the rebirth of the Avalokiteshvara. There are thousands like that way in many parts of the world, helping many hell beings out of that. So one among them. So what it means that from the 6 realm, that Om Mani Padme Hum means that from the 6 realms of the samsara, may I be able to purify everyone. May I be able to get lifted everyone out of that, and may the body, mind, what we call physically, verbally, and mentally, may I be purified